Hey friends, Hattie here from Honeybee Stampers. In this video, I'm going to share with you the cards that we created during our June 2022 Sweet and Simple card class. Each month, I offer a Sweet and Simple card class that I hold at my studio here in Sumter, South Carolina, but I do also offer these kits to go. So I am going to create the projects now so those of you who got the kits to go can see how to put them together, and hopefully I'll teach you a little trick or two. So these are the cards that we created, and some of them were inspired by projects that I received during a swap when I went to St. George. So if you caught that video, then you'll kind of see some of these and they might be familiar to you. So let's go ahead and get started with some of these cards so that you can see how easy they are to put together and just how beautiful they turned out. So for this first card here, this card is very simple. Let me get my kit of cards out. Of course, it's going to come in a bag that looks like this. For those of you who are in person, those of you who got it to go, the bag's a little bit smaller, and I always label it with which card class it is in case you don't get to it right away. Then you can actually work on it on your own time. So the way that I've designed the projects is so that you can use any stamp sets that you have, that you may have at home, or if you fall in love with it just as is, then you can actually purchase the products from me on my online store. And I'll of course leave a link for you to be able to shop. So this is the first stamp set that I feature here. This is actually a brand new stamp set out of the current annual catalog. That catalog cover looks like this. If you're a customer of mine, you probably have received this already. If you have not received this and you'd like one, definitely reach out to me and we can get you a catalog. Okay, Happiness Abounds. I love the script here, and I just grabbed the happy birthday to create this one. You, of course, can do best wishes, friend, congratulations. You can switch it up. Now, this card was inspired by, like I said earlier, one of the swap cards that I got from St. George. And you'll have to go back and watch that video because I've already removed the little sticker to let me know who created this one, but I did give them a shout out in that video. So this is the card that I received, and then this is the creation that I came up with. So you can see how similar those look. Now, the fun thing about this is they used a current embossing folder, if you can see that in the background there. And I didn't have that embossing folder, surprisingly, but I did grab this one. This one is actually our animal print embossing folder, and it just recently retired, but it reminded me so much of the flowers here in this designer series paper, and so I thought that that would pair well together. Now, this designer series paper, before I make this card, let me just show it to you guys because it is so pretty. It's so pretty that I used it actually on 2 of the projects this month. So the designer series paper is called Abstract Beauty, and it comes in a 4x6 configuration. Now, this is not something that Stampin' Up! Typically does. It's the first time I've seen them come out with DSP that's this size. But I just wanted to kind of show off some of this paper. So here's this pattern, and then here's another side. We actually use this pattern on one of our other cards. Let me just go through and show this to you. I don't think it is sold out yet. You can see the gold in there as well. But this is on sale, and it's while supplies last, and it's retiring. So at the end of June, this paper will be gone for good. And then here's some more. I just love the gold accents in there. Ooh, I love that. So here we go. Definitely abstract and definitely beautiful. I love this side too. Some gold stripes for you. And some polka dots. Who doesn't need that? That's so pretty. What a unique color combination, but it looks so great together. And then here's some more. So as you can see, you're going to get 4 sheets of each of these patterns, and they're double-sided. Here's the pattern I chose to use for this particular card that I'm going to show you. There's the other side. And then here's the last one. You can see the little gold speckles in there. Such a pretty, beautiful designer series paper. And it's called Abstract Beauty. So don't miss that, you guys. I believe it's on sale right now. And it, like I said, is while supplies last. If you remember from last month's card, this was last month's Sweet and Simple, one of the cards. I used this pattern to create this Sweet and Simple card. So as you can see, I just love it. All right, let me set this to the side, and we'll go ahead and get started in creating this project. So I use Blushing Bride as my card base. And when you get it to, if you get this class to go, all your pieces are going to be cut like this for you. We even tied little bows for you too. So I don't know how much longer we'll be able to tie the bows for you guys, but take advantage of it now if you can. All right, so let me just pull these a little bit, set that to the side. Okay. So this designer series paper measurement is one of our very easy ones to use. I believe it's, I was gonna say 3 by 4, but I don't know why it's looking a little bit smaller than that. Anyways, so I'm just gonna layer it right on top of this Night of Navy. Some stuff around here. And we'll set that to the side. Let me fold our card base in half so we can get that set to the side as well. Okay, so you can see this kind of coming together. And here's that what is it called? Animal print or something like that. I can't quite remember. But anyways, that is the embossing folder. But doesn't it look like these flowers? These kind of abstract little flowers. So that's how that's gonna go. And actually, let's go ahead and add this on. A little more glue because sometimes that happens where the adhesive will kind of take some of the paper off. It's just that sticky. This is our Stampin' Seal. All right, let's lay that right on there. Goodness, it's so sticky, it's all over my fingers. Okay, now let's add some dimensionals to the back of this. And included in your packet, you're going to have a little strip of basic white, and that's where we're going to add our sentiment. There we go. So we're going to stamp Happy Birthday, and we're going to use Night of Navy because it coordinates. I love this little script. I wonder if it's one of the designer's handwriting or if it's something computer generated. It's just really pretty. It looks like handwriting to me. So let's stamp Happy Birthday. I'm going to kind of go towards the left. Okay, there we go. And then I grabbed this. This is like I think this is Take Your Pick banner, something along those lines, but it creates these little banner edges here. And I always punch upside down. So what I'm going to do is feed this strip of cardstock in this way, and when I flip it over, I'm going to make sure I line up that point with the middle, and then I'm going to just create a little banner just like that. Of course, you can use your scissors and create that as well if you don't have this punch, but this punch is very handy to create these cute little banners. All right, let's bring this in, and we're going to do dimensionals on this as well. Pop that up. Take those off. I always have dimensional backings all over my floor after I do these videos. And we're just going to stick it kind of flush to the edge here in the bottom left. Okay. And I'm going to need a glue dot. Glue dots are really my go-to when it comes to adding ribbon onto a card. So I will add a little glue dot right there. Stick my ribbon on, and then there is this cute little embellishment that I use. This is a brand new embellishment, and it's got adhesive on the back, so you have to kind of pull it off. I cut all of the embellishments up like this so that so I can make sure that everybody has the embellishment that they need, and I even ship it in the mail too. So when you get your card, you're going to have your embellishments as well. Okay, so there we go. There's our first Happy Birthday card, and then we'll also create a little bit on the inside. When I cut this card down, I had this piece left over, and so I didn't want to just let that go to waste. So I'm going to, hold on. you know, when my snail does this, or not my snail, but my Stampin' Seal does this, I actually need one of our little silicone mats to be able to help advance that. And I forgot to bring it, so I had to use my finger. All right, so where did I put this? I'm gonna stick this right here on the side, like that. And it just adds a little bit to the inside of the card so that it ties in with the front of the card. Okay. And that's an easy thing to do to really dress up your card. So there we go. There's our very first card, Sweet and Simple. Let's set that to the side and we'll move on. Actually, let me put it in a place where I will be able to find it at the end. I always am looking for my projects at the end and I never know where they are. Okay, let's move on to our next card here. Dump all of our pieces out. I always tell people to check your envelopes to make sure that you've got everything, because sometimes people are looking for items and they can't find it, and then they find out later that, oh, it was in their envelope. We actually had one of our attendees, she's so cute. So her name is Betty, and she was looking all over for one of her embellishments, and I shared a picture on my social media of her. She was looking all over for it, and then come to find out it was on her fingernail the whole time. So kind of got a kick out of that and definitely took a picture of her. All right, so for this next card, let me show you what it looks like again so you can kind of have a point of reference. It's going to be this right here. And this actually is a stamp set called Cottage Rose, which you see here, that I am featuring in Stamp Camp. The registration to sign up for Stamp Camp actually ends this Friday. So don't miss out on that, because we've got some really pretty projects designed for the attendees of Stamp Camp. And I only do Stamp Camp 3 times a year, so don't miss it. All right, so this is just some designer series paper that I grabbed to just add a little bit of an element at the bottom here. Okay. And then we're gonna take the sentiment, "You're positively the greatest," I love that, and use basic gray. I'm gonna tie all this in together. Ink that up. I always flip over to make sure that my stamp is nice and inked, and the goal is to lay it on top of your ink pad so that you're not adding any more pressure than that, right? And you're gonna tap, tap, tap to get the color on. Sometimes people have a tendency to be heavy-handed and they push really hard, and then they get the ink everywhere, and then that's a nightmare because you get it all over your fingers, and then you get it all over your workstation, and then you're not a happy camper. So let's stamp right here. Okay, straight down and straight up. And then we're going to also stamp on a piece of scrap paper our flower. Let me set that up there. All right, we'll ink up this flower. Is so pretty. And I can see myself using it for a lot of different projects, and it's so large that it's an easy focal point that you can use to create some really quick and easy cards. So we'll just stamp down here on our scrap paper. Now, I will not be sending any stamped images in the mail. We're not able to do that as demonstrators. It's just one of the rules. But if you have a flower stamp, and if you have a sentiment, you know, you may not have this one, unless you sign up for Stamp Camp, then you will be getting it. Then you can just use whatever you have. That's the beauty of the Sweet and Simple card class. I really think about that when I'm designing. Okay, let me put a little piece of paper under here to protect my work surface, because we're going to use Stampin' Blends. Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based markers, okay? And so you want to make sure that you're protecting your work surface. And I'm just going to use, what color are we using today? We're using the soft seafoam. The light soft seafoam actually ran out in class, so I'm not going to use that. But all I'm doing is following along with the lines and the details that the artists have already put there for me. So I'm not coloring the whole leaf. Of course you can if you want to, but I really like the soft look to it, so I want to do it that way. Okay, one of the things I want you to know about our stamping blends is that the tip is very fragile, and so you want to protect the integrity of the tip by not coloring with the tip straight down. You just want to apply color to your image almost like it's a paintbrush, Very, very light touch, okay? Because otherwise the whole tip will start to break down and degrade, and you don't want that. Now we've got our two colors. Our Stampin' Blends alcohol markers always come in a light and a dark. I like to start with our dark color and apply some color to the image. Okay, so let me show you the difference here really quick. If you press too hard with your Stampin' Blends, and I don't know if you're able to see this, let me see if I can focus on that. This one right here, the tip is all just broken down essentially, and it's not holding its shape, whereas this one is. And so this one is a little bit harder to color with because it just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's so soft that you can't get the detail that you want. So that happens when you press too hard. So make sure that when you're using your Stampin' Blends that you're really careful with how you're applying the color so that they last a little bit longer for you. Okay, so you just want to kind of hold it to the side and paint it on like a paintbrush almost, okay? Now after I fill that in, oh, let me focus in on that again. After I fill that in, then I'll come in with the lighter, and you can see this one's even, this marker tip is even worse. It's falling apart. So remember, be careful with your Stampin' Blends, okay? So then you're gonna kind of come in with the lighter and color that in. Just like that, okay? Anyways, you can have fun with how you color. I did color on this one, and then I actually did some coloring off camera, so this is even a little bit lighter. I actually left a little bit of that very vanilla in the background. So both of them really pretty, so easy to color with. After you've done this, you can either fussy cut it out, which means taking a pair of scissors and just cutting around it, or you can use the dies that coordinate with it. And I did that just for ease, and the dies work perfectly. Okay, let's bring this back in. And I'm gonna apply this piece directly to the card base, like this. I'm kind of looking to see that I'm centering it, and then I've got a nice border around here. Okay, and then we're going to add this piece on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. I tend to not do all the coloring if I can help it, because I like to save a little bit of time when I'm showing you guys these videos. Now, if someone ever has a question about how I'm coloring or how I'm doing it exactly, and you'd like me to take a little more time to show you, I would be happy to do that. So just kind of give me a little shout out and let me know. So there's that. And then the inside of the card, of course, we want to decorate the inside whenever we can. I've cut a piece of very vanilla to go on the inside, which coordinates with the front. And then I took the flower and just inked it up again. And let me see, which side did I go on? Okay, the bottom. Now I wanted some of the flower to come up the page a little bit. Okay, just like that. So you can color that in if you'd like, or you can leave it as is. I like it just like that, so I'm gonna leave it. So can you see how quick and easy these cards are to put together? Now for our Stamp Camp is in July. And let me tell you guys, we pick a date in July to do the summer Stamp Camp. And it's a time for us to gather together so that Brenda is my partner in crime. She's an artisan designer up in Canada. And she and I get together and we bring all the Canadians and the Americans together that sign up for this class. Now, the class that we do through Zoom, all of it's recorded. So I've had a lot of people come to me and say, you know, I really want to take your Stamp Camp, but I'm not available on that day. Guess what? It's okay. You don't have to be available on that day. Everything's recorded for you. You'll get all the goodie bag and everything that you need and tutorials to create your projects. And so you don't have to worry at all about being there in person. You'll be able to get it all and work on it on your own. So here are the cards. So these are super fun cards, and you'll see that they're very different than our Stamp Camp projects. So for Stamp Camp, Brenda is actually using the suite of products that actually goes with this Cottage Rose to create this beautiful mini album. You guys wait till you see it. It is so gorgeous. Then I've actually chosen a different designer series paper to show you how you can take the same stamp set and dies and create completely different looking projects. So I've designed 5 cards, and if you're part of Super Stamper status, that means that you've done the last stamp camp and you've registered for this one as well. You get a bonus 4 additional cards. But here's a sneak peek of one of the cards. So it's going to be fab. I felt like that was quite fitting to when I'm talking about stamp camp. Use that sentiment right there. And this is a matchbook card. Isn't that fun? So you just kind of, this is the designer series paper that you're going to be using, and it is beautiful. I'm actually drawing a blank as the name of it. Anyways, I will leave a link to the stamp camp that you can click on it and learn all about it. You can actually earn some celebration rewards if you sign up with me and you decide if you want the works or the experience. So read about that, or let me know if you have any questions. So this is a unique card that's going to be part of stamp camp as well. You guys, it is such a value to participate in stamp camp, and I hope that you join us because we only do it 3 times a year, and we've got some great things to share with you. As you can see here, I've done some watercoloring. So I call that faux watercoloring, and Brenda's actually going to do a little lesson at the beginning of stamp camp to share with you how exactly to accomplish that technique, because we're going to use it on several projects in stamp camp. So anyways, just wanted to give a little plug about stamp camp because it's amazing. We're really excited about it, and we hope that you join. All right, let's set this to the side, and I'm going to grab our next project. So this next project here, I actually created this for Father's Day, and gave this to my father-in-law for Father's Day. And it's just such a cute project. Let me show you the inspiration for it. Okay. So if you caught my St. George favorite swaps video, then you saw this cute little elephant made by my friend Angie Judah. And it is a cute little gift card holder, right? So that's perfect. I thought that would be perfect for Father's Day. So I took that and designed this project here. I originally had this piece on it, and then I thought, you know, it might be too much green, and I decided to add this for Sweet and Simple, but I actually like both. You guys will have to let me know which one you like better. So this is the Father's Day card, and I'm going to create that for you guys right now. Okay, I love fun folds. I think fun folds always just take your cards to the next level. So we're going to create this fun fold. It goes like that. Okay, so when you get your cardstock, you just kind of fold that in like that, right? You're going to take this the smaller panel, and you're going to take the circle punch that you can use any circle punch. I'm using 1 3/4 circle punch, and I'm going to just feed it in upside down and punch out a little notch. I didn't do that originally, and then I thought, you know, it'll make it so much easier to get those gift cards out of there if there's a little notch for them. Now we're going to take our tear and tape and add just a little strip of tear and tape down the side. Make sure it's as close to the edge as possible so that they can retrieve, so you can put in the card, the gift card, and they'll be able to retrieve it. Okay. I need my take your pick tool to pull this stuff off, but these little snips work too. Okay. Hello. So sticky. There we go. Okay, once you've done that, sorry, I hope you didn't lose you just now. Once you've done that, there you go. You'll just kind of seal it down, and now you've got this pocket that you're able to put your gift card in. All right, let's put on the panels here. Make a little bit of a stronger crease there. Okay. And we'll just stick that on there. This designer series paper is from the He's the Man suite of products. It's brand new paper in our annual catalog, and it's really pretty. Ironically, I went on my very first camping trip with my husband and my son. Get that little fly out of there. And yeah, that little gnat, I'm telling you, There were so many gnats when we went camping. It was just, oh, it was stressing me out. They were flying around everywhere. I was just like, goodness gracious. Okay, so then you're gonna add this little strip. And because Father's Day has already passed, I'm actually not going to stamp the Father's Day stamp on the inside of this one so that I can use it for something else. Because the sentiment on the front says, every day with you is another adventure. And so that can go for so many different things. All right, I'm gonna layer this on the inside panel. There we go. And then when you put this down, you just want adhesive on one side, right? Just like that. Okay, let me get some scrap white paper out. I'm running out of room on my table, guys. So this is Early Espresso ink. We're just gonna ink up this sentiment. So I had to put a little dot on the top there to show me where the top of this stamp was, because whoever mounted this for me actually didn't put the sticker on so that it lined up. So that's a little trick for you. If you happen to accidentally not line it up correctly, you can put a little dot there so you know. Now it doesn't matter for this one because we're actually going to just cut this one right out. I like to always punch upside down and center my image and then squeeze. Here's the stamp set, He's All That goes with it if you're interested in that. So this is the Wishing You a Happy Father's Day that I'm not going to use this time around. Let me stick here. And we'll center this die with the little scalloped edge, the circle. This comes from the He's the Man bundle. So there's dies that coordinate with it too. And I'm gonna put this on with dimensionals. I really liked how it looked, but I felt like it needed a little bit of bling of some kind, but I didn't want to put too much bling on because it's a masculine card. So we've got these new brushed metallic, or these little embellishments here that look almost antique-y, and so I use that. Grab that off of there. Okay, it looks like that. I just put that in the center and I feel like it really added to the card. All right, there we go. So that is Sans Father's Day message, and there's the Father's Day message. We'll just have to save that for next year. So here are the two, one with the brown and one without. It has the green that kind of coordinates. You guys will have to tell me in the comment section, which one do you like better? Do you like the brown or do you like the green? So there we go. All right, moving on. Let's get on to the next project. We've got just 3 more to go. Now, if you get this kit in the mail, you can, pause and rewind, or you can just get creative and do whatever you want with the projects, okay? So here is another Sweet and Simple card. I'll show you what inspired me. Again, it was a St. George card. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is, and forgive me, I don't remember who made this, but I did share the person's name in the other video. So I love the way that this card looked, and I took that same layout and I created this card. We see the gold foil in there. So this designer series paper is also paper that's retiring. I believe it's on sale as well, and I just thought it was gorgeous. So we're gonna take and place these little pieces down. So let's see here. I'm just gonna kind of follow the sample. And of course you can get very creative and do it however you like. I just liked how the original designer had kind of just took all these little different pieces and pieced them together to create this really pretty background. And I know you guys have a lot of designer series paper laying around that you probably could do this same exact layout with. So if you don't have the kit, try it at home. Let's see, I think this one's next. And the other side of the paper is pretty too. Okay. Stick that there. Two more. This paper right here reminds me of wallpaper that you would see, I don't know, in a bathroom at a doctor's office or something. Speaking of doctor's offices, my son had his very first dentist appointment today, and he did really well. He was so cute in that chair. I'll have to share some video or some pictures of him because he was just adorable. And then at the end of the session, they allowed him to choose some little toys out of this little toy chest area, and he was in there negotiating which toys he thought he should have. So, okay, let's get the sentiment down. Now, the sentiment is a new one. It's called Nature's Prints. This is the stamp set that I use to do my swap cards with. We're going to emboss in gold. I'm going to show you guys a little sneak peek of some new product that's coming out in the holiday catalog. So it is this right here. It is this embossing, what is it called? It's called an Embossing Additions Toolkit. And do you guys remember this? If you've been stampers for a long time, we used to have these, and they were called embossing or powder pals. And so how it works is you would, well, actually, let's just use it so I can show you. So you would use this. This is something that we used to carry, and then, you know, people, they got rid of it, and now they've brought it back. I just used it already, but it is just an embossing buddy. And what it does is it's anti-static. It probably has cornstarch or something in there, but you just place it over whatever you're going to emboss so that when you add your sentiment, the only place that the embossing powder is going to stick is where your sentiment is, instead of all these little other staticky places on your cardstock. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit of Versamark, which is our sticky ink that we need to be able to get that embossing powder. And I'm just going to hover over for a second, and I'm going to stamp straight down. Try not to rock. Pull it off. Uh-oh. All right, so what you would do, you guys know I like to use these bins, but if you didn't have these bins and you just had the little the embossing, I don't know, the little cups that the embossing powder comes in, what you would do is you would pour that embossing powder right over your sentiment like this, okay? I need a little more. There we go. That's why I really like to kind of shimmy and shake it. Okay, now once you've done that, you can knock off the excess, and now you've got your sentiment here, but it's easy cleanup because you just unscrew the bottom of this, and then you tap to get all of your embossing powder back into your container. And then it also comes with this little brush. Now this little brush is used, so say for instance, I just embossed that sentiment, but I actually did have a few little stray pieces on it. I can use this, this little brush to brush all of the stray pieces off, and then you can then turn around and use it to push all of the embossing powder back. Okay, I hope you guys love that. I just love this tool. It's so cute. What I'm really excited about are the tweezers that come along with it, and the fact that you guys can purchase embossing buddies again. So then you can just screw that back on and it's ready for your next one. Let's set this to the side. And here are the tweezers. These tweezers are amazing. So these are the kind of tweezers that you just squeeze to open up the prong there, and you can hold it. Now you don't have to continue to squeeze. And as an occupational therapist, let me tell you, that is ergonomically correct. Because if you had to squeeze and hold like you would do traditional tweezers, your hand would get tired. Okay, now we're gonna turn on our heat tool and heat this up. Okay, so let me just show you. For those of you who are new, if you can see here that the shiny gold means that that has heated up, and then you can see that the K and the U aren't shiny, so that means the powder still needs to be heated up. So let's finish that off. I think heat embossing is like magic. So there we go. I have sometimes people will say, how do I know when it's done? And that's how you know. You'll see that it's nice and shiny. I think that's so beautiful. All right, let's get this out of the way here and finish off this card. So we'll just apply this piece here to the front. Add this on with some dimensionals. Love dimensionals. Out of focus again. There we go. A heartfelt thank you. You cannot go wrong with this card and this sentiment. Okay. And then we've got a couple little embellishments that we're going to add on to the ends just to give it a little something something. Now, if you are local to me, Sumter, South Carolina, I actually just started sharing my cards for sale next door at the salon next to me called Salon La Vie. So Jessica and her team there have it on display by the checkout. So when you're checking out, or if you're making an appointment for your hair, or if you just need a card and you want to swing by, just come on over there. The cards are $3 each or 4 for $10, and you can pick them up there. So you'll see some of these cards there as well. So isn't that beautiful? I love that card. All right, let's finish the inside and then we're done with this one. We use Smoky Slate for the inside. And now I went ahead and grabbed the Crane of Fortune. So this is the stamp set that goes with the product. This is retiring, and so is the Designer Series paper. This gold Designer Series paper, right? All of that goes together. Last time I checked, it's still available and it's on sale. So make sure that you check that out. And if you're watching this, it's Tuesday, the 20th, I believe, or the 21st of June. Sorry guys, I can't think of what the date is. Then we've got, I think it's the 21st. We've got a free shipping for any orders over $75. So make sure you check this stuff out before it sells out. So we're just gonna stamp this. I love these dragonflies. I just love how they're drawn. And we're just gonna add a few dragonflies right there. Okay. This is going on the inside of this card. Now again, if you don't have this stamp set, don't worry. You can use something that you already have, or you can use something that you like instead, okay? And that card's done. All right, let's set that to the side. Couple more cards, guys. Hang in there with me. I hope you're loving the cards so far. You'll have to share with me which is your favorite card. Enough, station a little bit. All right, for this last card. Now this card, it was not inspired by St. George Swap. It was actually cased. So case means that I copy and share, and I'm sharing it. It was so pretty. There was nothing I needed to do to change it or wanted to do to change it. I loved how she designed it and the color combo that she used. Be sure to go and check that video out so you can see who created it, because I don't remember. I took the little stickers off. So here's the card here. Now, during our Sweet and Simple card class, which we've already had, we did have some people have trouble with this card. It is two-step stamping. And so I'm going to share with you any little tips that I may have. Both of these are brand new in colors that we're showing off here. Sweet Sorbet and Starry Sky. So these colors are beautiful together. So the trick for me, let me grab the stamp set. We're using the Bottled Happiness stamp set for this card. You see a lot of Bottled Happiness cards used with the bottles included. She decided to use just the flowers, and I absolutely love how that turned out. So we're gonna take, if you get the kit, if you've gotten the kit to go, I don't have any more kits, FYI, they sold out. You want to use the smaller one to create this. This is gonna go on the inside. So let me get my paper here. All right, I recommend when using the flower stamps here that you start with the larger of the two. Can you tell that this seems a little bit larger? This is the one that has all of the flower images, and this one has the little flowers that go inside those flowers. So start with this larger one, and we're gonna ink this up in Sweet Sorbet. What I did was I added a little blue dot to the top here and a little blue dot to the top here. I don't know if you can see them, but what that tells me is that this is, if I stamp with the blue dot facing up, then if I stamp with the blue dot facing up here, they're gonna overlay perfectly. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That might be a little trick that you can do to add to your photopolymer stamp. Now, let's see, how do I want to stamp this? I gotta remember how I did it last time. I think I gotta get my bearings here. Okay, I think I did it I think she did it, I should say, this way. Okay, so we're just gonna stamp just like this. So if I'm looking at this, I can see right now that the blue dot is pointing to the left, okay? So we'll do it that way. Okay, there we go. Now go ahead and turn your paper the other way. We're gonna do the same thing again. The blue dot is pointing towards the left. Okay, so now you've got those two images. Now we're gonna come in with the second step. That's why we call it two-step stamping. I'm gonna take the Starry Sky and ink this up. Now remember, the blue dot was pointing towards the left, so when we go to stamp, that is kind of how we're going to orient this stamp. So it's kind of pointing, the blue dot's pointing to the left. Hope you guys are following me. And then what I do is I hover over until I get these little Starry Sky flowers in the middle of the Sweet Sorbet flowers. Once I feel like I've pretty much got that, I'll stamp down. And when I lift it up, you can see, right, that kind of fills in. Isn't that so pretty? Now let's turn the paper this way and we're going to do the same thing. So again, the blue dot is kind of going towards the left, and now I am trying to line up the little flowers inside the little Starry Sky flowers inside the Sweet Sorbet flowers. When I feel like it looks like it's pretty much lined up how I'd like, I'll press down. Okay, and then you'll get that image. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing on the inside of the card. So you'll get to see me do it one more time. So let's ink up the Sweet Sorbet first. Okay. And we're just gonna do it in the corner here. So now this time, my blue dot is pointing up towards the right. Okay, that's gonna give me a good point of reference. And we'll ink up the smaller flowers in the Starry Sky. There's my little blue dot. You probably can't really see it, but anyways, there's a little blue dot at the top of there. And I'm gonna point it up towards the right again, and that kind of gives me an idea. And then once I've done that, I hover over. Okay, and I stamp down. There we go. So you see that one's off a little bit, but it still looks good. It still looks good. All right, there's that. Now we're gonna take our sentiment, and you'll have these little pieces already cut out for you. And the sentiment says, sending a little message, ink it up in the Starry Sky. And because it's photopolymer, you can see right through it there. Oh goodness, I had a little piece of hair, and that's why my sentiment got messed up. Let's flip it over. Nope, doesn't look good flipped over. I'll have to do that again later. All right, so there's that. And then you're just gonna add this piece to that piece like that. And then this piece to that one. These are our layering circles dies. So look how pretty that looks. And then let's put the rest of it together. This is the die from the Color and Contour bundle. This one right here with these scalloped edges. A lot of people ask me about this die all the time because it's so pretty. So that's where it's from. Okay. And then we'll take our little small one and center it. Okay. And then once I'll have to stamp this one again, the message, but that's gonna go right in the middle with Stampin' Dimensional, so you can see how that comes together. And then on the inside of the card, let's add this layer so they can write a little message. There we go. Okay, so there's the card. Isn't it pretty? And it opens in a unique way. There we go. Okay, one more card, you guys. One more card. All right, so here we are again with that pretty paper that I love, that Abstract Beauty paper. Fold this in half. So even though I score this paper for you guys, I recommend making sure that the end here is together, and then you can really create that nice crease so that the bottoms line up together. Right, so what I did was I took that same Designer Series paper that I mentioned earlier with the little gold. I guess gold is my theme today. And we're just gonna layer it on top of this color. So this color is just jade, and it is retired, but I have a feeling that some of you guys still have this paper and hopefully still have the ink pad, because it's just so pretty, and it coordinated with the DSP, so I wanted to use it. That's one of the fun things about coming to Sweet and Simple Card Class. You may use projects or product that has just retired, that you know, if you missed out on it, then you actually have a chance to use it again. I typically try to stick to current stuff, but I might use an embellishment here or there that's retired. Okay, so then we've got this here. Let me grab the sentiment. So the sentiment says, "Thank you for being so." You're going to be on the edge of your seat here, so let's just stamp straight down. I love that. And then on the inside of the card, you're going to stamp sweet. So this stamp set is current, and it's actually the stamp set that I chose for my add-on class for Stamp Camp. So what that means is if you, oh, I've got a little, I can tell I have a little piece on that W that I don't want on there. It's a little schputz of some kind there. All right, I'm just gonna stamp sweet right there. So when you do Stamp Camp, we're featuring that Cottage Rose, but then Brenda chooses a stamp set and I choose a stamp set or bundle that we want to feature as an add-on. So we design extra cards so that you can have just a really full day of stamping if you wanted to. So the product that I chose were the, oops, sorry. My phone is like trying to die on me right now, and so I'm not sure if it's continuing to record. But Swedish Cherries is the stamp set that I chose as my add-on, and so this is the stamp set that we're using for this. So it's like a completely different looking stamp set, right? But this is, I'm designing 4 cards with this so that you can actually get the add-on class. It's very inexpensive to add it on as a perk for being an attendee. Okay, so here's this, and that's optional, completely optional, but the projects are going to be so cute. And like I said earlier, Brenda's projects are gorgeous for her add-on, so you don't want to miss out on that. Okay, here is our adhesive. We're just going to add, this is some of that same paper from that Abstract Beauty, and I just wanted to add some of that element to it there. And we're going to place this right over it like that. You guys tell I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when I'm stamping. It's hard not to. And then we've got a couple cute little elements that we can add here. So these little embellishments are from the same suite. Again, this suite of products is while supplies last or until the end of June. So if you like this, don't miss out on it. All right, oops, let me add this. So for this one, I use the other side here, but this time I'm going to use the side to kind of tie in to the front of the card. Oopsie. Sticky, sticky stuff. All right, there we go. So that kind of ties into the front of the card, right? Now, the trick for adding the ribbon on, I always told people to just add a strip of adhesive, or you can put some tear and tape, and then you're going to start like that and kind of apply some of the ribbon onto that tape, and then you're going to loop it, do the same thing, and then loop it again. There we go. We're going to take our Stampin' Dimensionals, add a little bit here and here. Okay. And then you can place your sentiment right over it. Isn't that fun? I mean, I just think that that card is so cute. Thank you for being so sweet. Okay, guys, we've done it. We've created all of the projects. Let me bring them all in again so you guys can see it. And let me tell you that next month, in July, I am doing another Sweet and Simple card class. This time it's all going to be holiday themed, all Christmas cards. So I'm going to be using some of the new product out of this mini catalog. If you're a customer of mine, you've probably received this already. If not, it's coming. So we're going to use projects like Christmas card or Christmas product out of there. So you'll get to make 6 cards at Sweet and Simple. Here's that. Put this in here. And it's going to be a really fun class. So it's in person here in my studio. I want to say it's on the 8th and 9th. I'll share a link to register for it. Don't let me sell out if you want to come in person. So make sure that you, let me stick this one front, that you sign up for it as soon as possible, okay? So you're gonna make 6 Christmas card classes, Christmas in July. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are our cards for June. Thank you for ordering the kit to go. I appreciate when you guys do that. You'll have to give me some feedback and let me know if you like these cards, and let me know which one's your favorite. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and we'll be chatting again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.